Hey everyone, I just got off the NCL Encore. I'm here to give you a quick debrief about the ship and about my experiences. Over the next couple weeks, we're going to go into everything. We're going to go into dining, entertainment, the internet, which nobody watches the internet videos. But today I'm going to do more of an overview of my experience and talk about it in a few different categories. So we're going to talk about embarkation, we're going to talk about food, the service, the overall ship, my personal accommodations, and the entertainment. So let's go get into it. Hey everyone, this is John from Bite Size Cruises. Thanks so much for coming to watch us today. If you are new to our channel, thank you so much for checking us out and giving us an opportunity. Our goal here is to help you plan the perfect cruise vacation for you or for you and your family. So we're going to give you expert tips, some insider access behind the scenes of cruising and that cruise life. And we have an amazing supportive community here, so we'd love to have you join us. So let's get into the NCL Encore. First up, I'm going to start with embarkation. I'm going to kind of do this in a few different categories. I think it's the easiest way to do these little debriefs and breakdowns, just so you have a good little chunk of what's going on. I'm making a personal decision in these quick debriefs. I'm not doing a ton of editing. I'm not doing overlays or videos of the ship or anything like that. I'm here to just talk and give you my opinion and what I think happened. It's the easiest way for me to do this. Over the course of the next few weeks, we're gonna have videos of all the things that we ate, specialty restaurants, of all the included food, the entertainment, the ship tour, all of those other things. So you'll be able to see all those things in the next few weeks. Today's just me giving you my honest opinions of what I thought of the cruise. So always remember, when I do these reviews, we pay for every single one of our cruises. The only way I feel comfortable coming on here and being honest is if I pay my own money for these cruises and I give you my honest opinion. I don't want to feel like I have to say something or I can't say something because the cruise line paid for my trip or someone else did. So let's get into it. First off, I embarked on Sunday, the 18th of February. I stayed at the Lifehouse Little Havana. First time staying there in Little Havana. It was very nice and very utilitarian. The neighborhood, I don't know. I got there a little bit later in the evening. I saw a lot of things outside, and I talked to, when I got in there, it was like 8 o'clock at night. I asked the kind of attendant, the concierge that was there, hey, can I run out and get something to eat? And is there anything close? And he said no. Like, not, hey, you can go like 3 blocks. He just said no, which I took very clearly to mean go to your room and go to bed and start tomorrow fresh. So I did that. So I scheduled an Uber ahead of time. I had a 10 o'clock arrival at the terminal that I could get there and check in at that time. I pre-ordered my Uber the night before for 9:30 in the morning. He got there about 9:15. I never like to make people wait, so I just went out, got in there. I got to the terminal around 9:45. There was a little bit of traffic. It should only be about 10 or 15 minutes, but we did hit some traffic. We went to Terminal B at the Port of Miami. So I got to the entrance. They check your time of your arrival, and they check your passport right there. I walked right in, up the escalator, and I was checked in about 5 minutes. I was waiting in the boarding area by 10 a.m. They started embarkation around 11:10, and here's my only complaint. My only complaint with boarding or embarkation in Miami is going to be my same complaint of every airport. As soon as they announce that they're going to start boarding, everyone just gets up and gets in line. And it's so silly to me, especially on a cruise where there's like, you get numbers when you get there. So if you're in boarding group 1 or 10 or 30, right? Now, keep in mind they board, special assistants and handicapped people first. Then they board, if there's like a wedding or anything, then they board Platinum, Sapphire, Diamond Ambassador, and then they board boarding group 1. So even if you're in boarding group 1, I don't see where it makes sense to get up and get in line. So same thing at the airport, right? You're in group 7, and like you're like, hey, I'm in group 4, and everybody in front of you is in group 7, and they're standing in the board, and you're like, are you going? And they're like, no, we're waiting. And I'm like, well, sit down. So same thing at the port, which is even crazier because there's 5,000 people or whatever trying to get on the ship. So that was very chaotic. Not a problem at all. They handled it very well. You know, at the cruise, on the cruises, they're just really nice to you. You're going on vacation. Everybody's excited. So my frustration is more with people just, I'm a rule follower. So if you tell me to wait, I'm going to wait. And then no one else does, and they just rush the gate. So, but I was on the ship. Everything was great. I was on by 11:25 and exploring, and everything was wonderful. So let's talk about the food. All the food that I ate was good to excellent. I didn't have any bad meals on the ship. Full disclosure, I ate dinner every evening in specialty dining, all 7 nights. I had free at sea, so which is the Norwegian program where you get drinks, a little bit of Wi-Fi, and you get specialty dining credits depending on what kind of room you're in. So I had 5. I got 1 with my room. I did free at sea plus, which gives you an extra 2. And then I paid for 2 more. And then I got 2 more because I'm Sapphire. So all in all, I had 7 specialty dinings. I ate lunch and breakfast. I ate either in the buffet, the main dining room, or the local. The food was good in all of those places. Like I said, I didn't have any bad meals. Specialty dining was excellent. And I'll do a whole video on specialty dining. I'll do a whole video on included food. Everything was good to excellent. Service. In my experience of 60 some cruises that I've been on now, service is generally always excellent. Everyone goes out of their way to make you feel special. Are there people that aren't as helpful, or people that walk by you with their head down because they're busy or they're not having a great day? Of course. Just like anywhere else in life. And I saw people complaining like, oh, this employee walked by me and didn't even say hello. Yeah, everybody's human, right? A lot of us are having good days and bad days. So just try to be empathetic. 95% of everyone that you're going to meet on a cruise, passengers and crew, are going to be amazing. And sometimes people are just having a rough day. So it's all good. But the service was great. Akash was my room steward. He was fantastic. Everybody I ran into was excellent. No issues with service at all. Let's talk about the ship. The ship is beautiful. It is the newest of the Breakaway Plus class ships. It's about 5 years old. It was clean, well maintained. My favorite areas of the ship were the observation lounge and the waterfront. Observation lounge, deck 15 forward. It's basically the whole front of the ship. It is beautiful. It's very relaxing in there. Floor to ceiling windows, 2 stories, incredible views. There's a bar up there, there's piano at night. They have little snacks there during the day. They have tea at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Really, really, really nice. The waterfront, obviously, is the boardwalk on deck 8, which goes pretty much around the entire ship, except for the front. So you can walk around the whole back and both of the sides. The front is blocked by Food Republic and District Brewhouse. But other than that, I love the waterfront. There's plenty of seating out there. There is restaurant seating out there. They have tons of spots to sunbathe and just relax and enjoy yourself out there. My only complaints with the ship are the same complaints I have with every Breakaway and Breakaway Plus class ship. It's that there are certain venues that are just too small and they don't make any sense. The biggest one for me is the atrium. They do all of the game shows in the atrium, like Deal or No Deal. They do the Love and Marriage Show or whatever they call it on NCL. They do trivia out there. They do crowd trivia. They do a lot of games. NCL does a lot of game shows in the atrium. And my biggest issue is that for most of those game shows, the atrium becomes the biggest bottleneck on the cruise ship because it only holds a few hundred people. There's not like theater seating. There's just chairs around little tables. So during the day, it holds maybe a few hundred people. They wind up bringing out folding chairs. People wind up standing. Then there's everybody that packs into the atrium bar. So that whole area is cluttered. And you really can't get through there or get around or even get close to being able to see a show unless you're sitting there waiting an hour ahead of time. The local, which is right above and looks down into the atrium, also becomes a bottleneck during those shows because everyone's standing or sitting around the bar, the little railing there. So it gets out of control. That area is not big enough for what they do and what they use it for. And, you know, in a lot of the older cruise ships, there was basically two theaters. There's like a primary theater, that's a big theater, and then there's some type of lounge, like the Spinnaker Lounge or the, you know, whatever, pick your vernacular from whatever cruise line, where it's like a little bit smaller, it probably holds like 800 people. That would be perfect. But no, this is right in the middle and kind of blocks everything up. And it's just too small. Everything that goes on there is great. They do a great job. All those trivias and game shows and everything are really fun. You just don't get to experience them, which I don't love. The only other area on the ship, again, where I think it's too small is the Cavern Club. It's the poorhouse on other ships. That venue is built to be intimate, so I get what they're doing. It's a very small one, but they should either do reservations where you could go there 1 or 2 nights on your cruise, because if you're not there an hour ahead of time, you're not going to get into that show. And on this cruise, it was the Beatles. And if you didn't get in there ahead of time, you were not going to make it in. The only other thing I wish there was a Spice H2O. If you've ever been on one of the Breakaway or Breakaway Plus class ships, some of them have Spice H2O. It's on the back on like deck 17 or one of the top decks in the back of the ship. And it's basically an outdoor adults only area during the day. And then in the evening, they do fun things out there, right? They do like the glow party or they'll have whatever, the 80s party, whatever it is. I love that. I love that area of the ship. This ship has the Galaxy Pavilion, which I think is a complete and utter waste of space. It's a virtual reality simulation room, and in lieu of having an arcade, and it's just huge. It takes up the whole back of the ship. There's 10 to 12 maybe virtual reality games or like experiences in there, and half of them are always broken. There's somebody always working on them. It's just not a great experience. So, and they're expensive, which is crazy. It's like 10 or 15 bucks. You could buy a pass for like 200 bucks to go in there unlimited. Just doesn't make any sense to me. Again, probably a cash grab. I get that. But Spice H2O, way better experience, in my opinion. Next up, let's talk about accommodations. I stayed in the studio cabin. They're very small, 99 square feet. Perfect for me, just me. You can only stay in there as one person. I find that it forces me to get out of the room, get out of my comfort zone a little bit, and go explore. That gives you access to the studio lounge, which I thought was excellent. Decorated really nicely. Snacks, coffee, tea, juice, water in there. Almost 20 hours a day. You can get stuff in there. It was very quiet. Great place to just sit and chat and meet some people. And they do like a little get together with solos every night at 5:30, and you can coordinate some fun things there. So that was a great experience. My accommodations were great. Next up, let's talk about the entertainment. So all of the entertainment on the ship was excellent. So the Beatles Invasion Band was excellent, and Choir of Man might be my favorite show on any cruise ship that I've ever seen. It is just such a great show. There were 2 comedians. They were pretty funny, which is rare. I generally don't enjoy the comedians. I'm on a good string. I had Carnival Jubilee last month, and the comedians were very good. On this ship, they were pretty good. They didn't have a ton of material, right? And we're going to get into like one of the issues that I have with the entertainment. One of my biggest issues is this is where you really see cutbacks from the cruise lines, NCL in particular. They really made a move to like game shows and one theatrical production. So there's no production cast on the ship. There's no band. There's no singers. There are no dancers. Only the people that are in Choir Man and the Beatles Invasion. There's no like mentalist. Not that I want one. There's no hypnotist. Not that I want one. There's no juggler. Definitely don't want one. But there's no aerialist. There's no anything else like that going on. It is just those things. Choir of Man is split up into 4 shows over 2 days. So that's 2 days in the theater that are taken by that. Totally fine. I have no problem with that. The comedians did a few shows in the theater. We'll talk about that in a second. And then you had the Beatles Invasion, which wound up doing 2 or 3 shows in the Cavern Club, which were great. And then 2 or 3 shows in the main theater. It's just too much Beatles. How many times can we see the Beatles? You know, they're not the Beatles. If it was the actual Beatles, sure. But so that was my biggest complaint. The comedians, I saw the one comedian, Corey, the first Corey McKellis, I think his name was, and Mike Head was the other comedian. I saw Corey, I think day 2 in the Comedy Club, great venue, very small, intimate, just like a real comedy club. He was outstanding. little bit of crowd work, had about 15, 20 minutes of material. Everything was dead on. Jokes were funny. It was a little dirty. It was fun. I had a great time. But then when I went back to see the comedians again the last night in the theater, same material. So not that that's their fault, right? They only have so much material. But the experience of like, okay, there's just not enough entertainment. There's not enough shows to go around. So they're just like moving things around to different areas and showing you the same show. The Beatles show, like the third time, was a lot of the songs that I had already seen. So I get it, but it would be a much better experience of entertainment if there was at least just like a few singers and dancers and they could do like one or two production shows. So that's my only complaint. The entertainment was fantastic. It just wasn't enough. It was very sparse. It just feels lacking. And then they did Wheel of Fortune in the theater twice. I think it's a lot of fun. The show's fun. I don't like that you have to pay to play if you want to be like in the audience. You don't have to, you could just come and watch the show, but if you want to like participate in the show, you have to pay to participate in the show, which I don't love. But I get it. It's a cash grab, but I get it. I don't like the nickel and diming of everything, but I do understand. So my only other thing with the entertainment was having comedians in the big theater, I think is a mistake. These guys, it's not Kevin Hart, right? It's not Tom Segura. It's not Dave Chappelle or some big comedian, Shane Gillis, since he just hosted Saturday Night Live. It's not a big comedian. So it's really hard for comedians to control a room like that of like 500, 600, 1,000 people. When those guys aren't used to doing those type of rooms, it's a different experience. Comedy clubs are great because it's very intimate. They can interact with the crowd a lot. Being in a big theater, you have to have like a polished 40 minutes of material and people need to know you. People go to see you. So they're already in on the inside jokes. They know you. They know your personality. So I just don't think it translates well to theaters. That's all. Comedians were very good. Entertainment, everything I saw was amazing. That's enough of my rant of nickel and diming and not having enough entertainment on the ship. The entertainers around the ship were all pretty good. Standard music going on around the cruise ship. Last but not least, let's talk about technology. The app works really well when the internet works. The internet was pretty good when you were using it. Everything was fine. Download speeds are better. They have Starlink now. You can still tell they're getting their footing with Starlink. Royal Caribbean has really nailed Starlink. It's great. Norwegian's working on it. It's way better than it used to be. Just a lot of disconnects and disruptions. Like when you go into the theater, if a show's starting at 7:30, I would sit down at 7. And then within 5 or 10 minutes, you're off the internet for like 10 or 15 minutes because all the people are piling in. I'm guessing it's just a bandwidth issue and they haven't figured out the pipe yet. So that'll get better, but just a lot of reconnecting and relogging in. Big pro tip, if you use the Norwegian app, look at your phone and make sure you are on the internet or on the Wi-Fi before you open the app. Because if you open the app and you're not on the Wi-Fi, it logs you out. And then you have to wait till you get back on and then log back into the app and then get back into your cruise. It's just a lot of steps. So that's my debrief on getting off of the NCL Encore. I had a great time. Everything I did was fun. The entertainment was fun. The food was great. I love this ship. They have the racetrack, of course. They have laser tag. There are a ton of great things to do on the ship. If you have any questions about the NCL Encore, please put them in the comments below. Happy to answer them. Again, I wanted to give you like pros and cons, what I really liked, what I thought could use some work. Otherwise, I had an amazing time. So on Jubilee last month on Carnival, that was great. NCL Encore, great. I'm going on NCL Breakaway next in just a few weeks. So we'll talk more about that. But now for the next few weeks, enjoy all of the coverage of Encore. We'll go through all those little restaurants and everything like that. And again, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much, and I really appreciate you watching. Bye.